A standing ovation. Oh my gosh. I'm going to ask my children to do that for me. It really lifts you up in the morning. Well, good morning, y'all. It is so exciting to be with you. I've had to practice my y'alls. Are we good with the mic back there, Ray? Yeah, I really had to practice. It doesn't come easy to Canadian. We're more into the outs, abouts, That's kind of our lingo. Any Canadians in the room? Or no, not usually in Atlanta. In addition to all of y'all who are here in person, I'm going to keep practicing. We've got a contingent online, so welcome to all of our online folks. This is our trusted partner, McLean. She is going to take all of your chats, reactions, questions, so please do interact and share all of those things over chat. So thank you for that, McLean. So I have a question to get started here. Yesterday was, what day was it? Wednesday? Who spent a significant portion of their time yesterday putting out a fire? Urgent, unexpected, not planned, not really sure it really even needed to be done, but there was a deadline, someone needed it. It was like, where is it now? Get it done. Yes, show of hands. Okay, I saw a lot of you put your hands up. I did not have a fire drill yesterday, but almost every other day there's some sort of fire drill in my life. So we are working in this kind of urgent, constant, get it done now. We end up at the end of the day not even sure what happened. We feel depleted, unfocused, unenergized, and we're not sure we're meeting our goals, right? Is that some of what happens? Not all the time, but some of the time. So my husband loves to call it fire drill. He's a non-firefighter, as far as I know, always fighting a fire drill. Sorry, honey, got another fire drill, can't pick up the kids. Sorry, got another fire drill, can't, so on and so forth. He's always fighting fire. So I want to start talking today about how we can stop fighting fires and start leading, stop working in the urgent, and move into the important. Does that sound like something that would be useful? Okay, great. Excellent. Gosh, you're a really interactive audience. I love it. So a little bit about myself. Thank you for the introduction. That's my name, and this is my family. That's me and Sebastian. We got married in my parents' my childhood home, my parents' current home in London, Ontario, Canada. That's our son, Sai. When he was a baby, that's his sister, Lonnie. They're kind of like face twins, and that's the crew. So they're my heart and soul. When we start to talk a little bit about why, I know that you've got your hearts and souls that you bring into the room with you, and I love that. Don't leave them out. Bring them in here. They're part of the conversation that's really important to talking about work and life and doing everything together in the flow, right? Cool. So does this remind you of anything? I realize I've worked in leadership development my whole life. I have not led a nonprofit. I have a lot of friends who lead nonprofits, and I've worked with nonprofits, but I really wanted to get to know you. I wanted to get to know the work that you do. So I asked them, I said, tell me the stories. Tell me what it was like to file the 510C3, right? You don't ever get to own a nonprofit. You have no equity. I was like, what? That's crazy. Just start a business. She's like, no, it doesn't work that way. And then I hit pay dirt when I found internet memes on nonprofits. So this is how I really learned about some of what y'all do. That one cracked me up, right? I think these are tracking. Yes. Yep. And I got, he looks great. There's nothing stressful about it. This one was good too. All right. Volunteers. Hopefully there will be no volunteers here today. You will be well fed, well taken care of, and hopefully we will give you something value add for the time that you are spending with us. That's our hope. So, you've become a sensation when you become an internet meme. So you are a sensation to someone out there already. But let's talk a little bit about the tasks at hand. So did you get a handy dandy notebook and a pen? Excellent. I'm going to do some of this with you. I want to know about the day in the life of a nonprofit leader. So think about yesterday. It was Wednesday, if you can't remember, April 26th, I think that's the date. I sometimes have to remind myself. List out everything you can. Make yourself a list, 1 to whatever, 1 to 10, 1 to 20, and list out all the tasks, but make them specific. Don't just say email, phone call, say for what. Email to whom, for what purpose, and this is for you. This is not a homework assignment. You're not going to turn it in at the end of class, but this is for you to jog your memory. You might have to pull up your calendar. That sometimes jogs your memory. If you don't have enough from yesterday, think about the previous couple of days or even last month. Anything that stands out to you is something you spent a significant amount of time working on. And remember, this list is for you. And we're going to use your list as we go along in the conversation. You are some busy people. You are still writing. You do a lot. You do a lot. Okay, for the sake of time, I'm going to move us on because I think we might be here for a while. So you got your tasks, all the things that you spend time doing. Now I want you to take a deep breath, maybe put your pen down for a moment, and tell me about your why, right? You saw a little bit about my why up there, my people, and also the work. I'm deeply passionate about my work because I want to help others reach their potential. I want to be able to see every single one of you. I can't always do it, but that is so deeply important to me. So important to me that it makes me emotional, because every person wants to be seen and heard, and they want to belong, and they want to be able to do what they are able to do. That's my why. What's your why? What gets you out of bed? What is your purpose? The amazing work that you do? Who are you out there trying to help and connect with? It might just be one thing, it might be a couple. It doesn't have to be fancy words.
So my why is getting up and trying to make the world a better place.
Your why is getting up every day to make the world a better place. And getting a chance to partner with other people who want to do the same thing. I heard party, but you said partner, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. But it feels like a party if it's done right. Yeah, I love that, okay? And if you have more specifics around that, how do you want to make the world a better place, right? Whatever connects with you, use that. So now you have, and if you can write that down, I love that you have a different color for that. I think that's so cool. And if you don't have someone working on your team directly, you can still delegate. Husbands, wives, children, right? They're capable. Isn't that why we have children sometimes in the first place? So we'll talk a little bit about that. Tyranny of the urgent. I love what you said back there. We work in the tyranny of the urgent. I work in the tyranny of the urgent. Everybody works in the tyranny of the urgent except for maybe small children who get caught up in their own thing, and their urgent seems to be very appealing to them. So I want us to focus on this long term, the important, right? And there's some that'll be urgent and important, but there's a lot that's not urgent, but still important. Here are some characteristics. This might feel familiar to you. The urgent is reactive. It's generally things that are important to others. It's generally very visible. A ding, a bing, a ring, a ting, something's happening, right? It's got your attention, and off you go like a squirrel, trying to respond to the message, I have to shut all of that down if I'm ever gonna get anything done, right? Is anybody with me there? And it's often problem-oriented. There's a problem, there's an issue, there's a traffic jam on Buffington Road, there's 100 people out on the street, nobody can get in, fix it, fix it, fix it. Important, it's gotta happen, but it's urgent and it's a crisis. Long term, take a deep breath. Proactive, important to you. Often less visible. It takes time to build. It's thought work, it's partnership, it's conversations, it's opportunity oriented, right? Anything else? Anyone want to add before I skip to the next slide? Come to mind, stories. This session will be More meaningful the more you talk and the less I talk. And is there anything from the online? Not yet. Okay, they're quiet on the online chat. So daily firefighting. This is a 2x2 matrix. Let me back up. This is not my matrix. This is Stephen Covey. He's a learning maven and guru, puts out a lot of great stuff. This is not new. This is old stuff. But honestly, in this space, in terms of learning and development, the old stuff is the good stuff. There's not rocket science, right? So how do we distinguish between the urgent and the important, right? If you put it on a 2x2, it actually allows you to pull apart some of those things. So here we have stuff that is urgent and important. We do have to figure out how to get the 100 people that are waiting to be here off the traffic and into the building. It's important, right? There are deadline-driven projects, meetings. You can't just say, oh, I'm not going to show up to that grant meeting, not going to show up to meet that donor. You got to do it. Spend time there, and sometimes it feels like, oh, that took forever. Another day, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 6 months. What a waste of time. I would say pause. Was it really a waste of time? I think it probably will take you further than you might realize, right? Planning. And there's also a lot of personal stuff in here. Relationship building, family, true recreation. What is not true recreation? Call it out, we do it all the time. Work, work, no. Work is not recreation. Scrolling, what do we scroll? TikTok, Instagram. Not if you're in Montana, right? No more TikTok, right? But everywhere else, TikTok, Instagram, for us oldies, Facebook, right? What else? He said it out loud and then he put his head right back down, Twitter, all of it, right? And I have colleagues who love Love After Lockup, and my husband loves Love is Blind and some terrible name I can't even say out loud on an island. You probably know what it is. He watches all this like TV that he thinks like relaxes his brain. I have a different perspective, but there's no TV in our bedroom, so I'll tell you that much. And rest. Who needs more rest? Yes, amen. We need more rest. So, right there. We'll figure it out, sister. And then there's just stuff that's not important, but we still end up doing it all the time. The dings, the pings, all that stuff. Some of those dings and pings are important. Children, accident on Buffington Road, those are important, urgent dings and pings. About the new lawn service and a new credit card where I can pay less APR. Not important. Interruptions, phone calls, emails that are not important to you, let it go. And then in this last list, the trivial and the wasteful. I would say some of what we talked about before might land in that bucket. Junk mail, I used to feel responsible for opening every piece of mail that came to me. What is wrong with me? Is it like how I've been socialized? And Sebastian was like, throw that, put it in the recycling. I said, put it in the recycling. Time sinks, escape activities that do not actually rejuvenate you. So let's try and limit some of that. Not stop it altogether, but limit it. Some of you are taking a photo, feel free. You don't have to take a photo, but if you need it, it's there. Are these slides available, McLean, to the audience? Okay. Oh, you're having some difficulties online. Okay. No problem. Okay. So I'm going to ask you now to take your list that you created, draw yourself a new matrix on a new sheet of paper. Some of us are already there. I love it. It's urgent, not urgent in the top two columns, and then important, not important in those 2 rows below. You get yourself a 2x2 matrix. And I want you to just plot some of your tasks on that matrix. And I will put something up here for you. All right. What's urgent and important in your life right now, the tasks that you're doing?
Payroll.
Oh, payroll and taxes, right? Yes. Invoices. Grant deadlines. Family? Say more. And it's urgent and it's important. Yep. Yeah, family needs. Anybody been sick as a family for like 25 months like in a row? So we've been sick as a family for 8 months in a row. We've had 13%, I've calculated, I'm a little bit of a nerd if you haven't already figured that out. 13% of our days have been healthy days since September 2022. It gets exhausting. And it gets a little like, there was some like, mental health wise, like we had to really pull it out and say like, this is not regular life, hopefully for us, but when you are just in it and you don't step out of it, it can really take a toll. So family needs, absolutely. Elder care, your own family, older kids, younger kids. I've heard problems, little people problems just get bigger as the big kids get bigger. I don't want to hear that, y'all. I don't want to hear it. Tell me this is the worst it's going to get and then it's a cakewalk. Like that's what I want to hear right now. So thank you for sharing these. Anything else before we move to this column? Board meetings in the urgent and important? Yeah. She's like, where else would it go? Yeah. Hiring. Yes. It's a great problem to have. That means you're growing and things are going well and you're supporting more people, but it is exhausting and hard, right? What's in the not urgent but important? The room goes silent.
Technology transition.
Okay.
Long-term paybacks. But
This is my. Yeah.
hiring can also be, I know that in the case of we have some rollout, so it's not urgent, but
Yeah.
important to hire.
So what I hear in both of this is planning for the future. Yeah. Really hard to do if you're stuck in the now, right? Yeah. What else?
Donor relations.
One more.
Systems improvement.
Can you share a little bit more about what you mean by that?
Just like the process as a volunteer leader, just looking at how we can do things better for our organization, with onboarding, recruiting,
Yep.
communicating.
Because you can keep rolling it out the same way, day after day. It's Monday again, it's Monday again, it's Monday again. But how do you get better at that?
There's room for improvement, but actually taking the time to work on it.
Right. Does this feel appropriate that you're trying to build something as you're working on it? Like they talk about building the airplane as you fly it, right? It's kind of outdated, but that's what comes to mind. Now we should talk about building, SpaceX rocket ship, so it doesn't blow up, and working on it at the same time. What is not important but urgent? It's constantly you're in it, and you're like, why am I doing this? But I'm still doing this. Emails. What is it? Social groups? Yep. Oh, yeah. That can sound really antisocial, but it's not, right? Who are we spending time with the people that energize us, that fill our cups, that push us to be better? Or are we with and I'm one of them, so I'll just use myself as an example, like the baseball moms who are can be a little gossipy and a little catty and, are kind of like, why isn't your son running faster? I don't have no feelings about this at all. So social groups, yep. And someone said something before social groups, emails. But not all emails, right? So I'm going to say some emails. I know some of you are saying no, all emails, but some emails are actually urgent and important. Some emails are actually not urgent but important, and they never get written. Have you ever come back and you're like, oh, last week I was writing I should have sent that, but I needed to do some research or I needed more information, and now either the time has passed or I didn't do it. So some emails can fit into any of this. It really depends on what the purpose is. We'll take one more. Other people's work. Talk to me about that.
If someone isn't doing something that they delegated to do, and
Yes, we will talk a little bit about what that means for women leaders as well, specifically in just a bit. And then what about this bucket here? Not urgent, not important. Vacation? What? No. Is it not important to you? Well, hold on. Is it not important to you?
Not really, because I'm a workaholic, so it's not urgent. It's not urgent for me.
How do you fill? How do you replenish? How do you refill your? Well, that's kind of your vacation, right? So spa vacation, right? Okay. You don't really need to go somewhere. You can stay and like go to a spa and like rejuvenate. No, I'm asking you. Yeah. Okay. You're a spa person. So your spa vacation kind of, yeah.
I would say you don't have to take every meeting, and I feel that's
Yes.
not every meeting is something we take or we feel that we have to. So none of those
Yes.
are not important.
Yep.
I have something framed in my office, and we work on cartoon that has a guy standing with his date book or whatever, and it says, Thursday's out. How about never? Does never work for you? I don't have to take every meeting that's requested.
Who is courageous enough to send one of those emails this week? If I did that at Chick-fil-A, people would be like, I'm sorry, what now? But I love it. Never. My husband, huge proponent of, he works in this like tech transition Salesforce thing that I don't understand, like animate everything. Like he's tried to animate like our home life to the point where I can't like turn the lights on and like open the garage and stuff. It's cool when it works, not cool when it doesn't work. But he said that. He's like, why are you going to all this stuff? Are you needed? Are you the person that's supposed to be there? Don't do it. That's hard. It's hard though. It's really hard for me. 5 minutes. 5 minutes? Oh, okay. We're going to wrap it all together because we've been kind of interactive, right? I was like, 5 minutes? There's no way. But thank you, Joni. So let's get out of fire and move into some freedom. And you're already there. You know it. I think you're just going so fast and you're doing so much, some of you totally on your own. So I want you to be able to take a step back today and leave this experience together with a bit of a different plan, even if it's one or two simple things. Too small to fail is my motto, rather than too big, too small to fail. It's that you can't not do it. You're going to be successful. So how do we lead from fire to freedom? I have 3 ideas for you. The best ideas don't come from me. They come from you guys to each other, right? Or y'all to y'all, if that works. So we're going to manage the urgent. Okay, is it actually important? Does it actually have to be done right now by me? Okay? We're going to protect the not urgent but important. Protect. That means put time on the calendar for the spa. For the spa. When are you going to go to the spa? No, when? When's the next time you're going to go?
Probably next month.
All right, next month. I'm going to get your number. I'm going to text you. Did you go to the spa? Can I come with you? Vacation, time to think, heads down work. I put heads down. I have 10 hours of heads down work on my calendar every week. If a meeting gets moved in, I move it over. Do I always get 10 hours? Rarely. But do I start with the intention and protect some of the time? Otherwise, it's gone in a poof. Meeting. When am I supposed to get my work done? When am I supposed to think about how do I improve my processes? How do I offer value? How do I do something innovative? How do I talk to somebody new? No chance. The calendar rules. The calendar rules, right? Use it as a tool. If it rules, use it as a tool. I would say avoid anything that's urgent and not important. Just don't do it. How's never? Never. I'm not going to tell you to never scroll TikTok. I scroll the Instagram. I scroll the Facebook. I do watch some trash TV myself. It's got a little bit more flavor than I'd say my husband's trash TV, but limit it. So don't avoid it, but limit it. And see if it's really, check in. Is it giving you energy? Is it filling you up? Is it giving you that break that you want? Then limit it. So manage, protect, avoid, and limit. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Let me know when you're done. Got it? I love that there are some men in the room for this next part because I think this conversation truly requires both. So my true passion in the leadership development space is women's leadership development. I am a woman. I am a woman in leadership, and it's deeply important to me. My strongest partner in this space is my husband. Is my husband. Yeah. So the particular challenge for women leaders, I would love the men in the room to have their input and their feedback as well from whatever space you're in. I understand not every relationship is also husband and wife or whatever it is, so I know that you have different kind of setups in your home. There's room for that conversation regardless of what the structure is. We're kind of in a wheel. I don't know if you all feel it, but I imagine you do. Women in particular are in a particular kind of hamster wheel. It's not a sob story. It's not something, a challenge we can't meet. But if we're not honest about where we are, we cannot make change. So that's why I want to talk about it. I want to talk about it frankly, and that I love that there are women and men in the room together here. So anybody seen this hashtag? The future is? I would challenge you that the future is laughter generally means that it's tracking, right? So this woman says it way better than I do. Give her a little listen here.
I am so freaking tired of being the woman. Like, I really just feel like God could have made me a dinosaur or a frog or even a tree at this point. I'm fine with being a tree. But like this woman stuff, like y'all want me to bear children, take care of the children, get a house, take care of the house, go grocery shopping, cook the food, buy clothes, wash the clothes, and fold them and put them away. I'll probably never be good at that one, honestly. Bleed every month just to tell me that I can still bear children, but I didn't do it this month. You can send me a text message. We ain't got to keep doing that. Y'all want me to wash dishes, organize cabinets, clean out the fridge. It's just too much. You want me to nails, hair, I gotta look good, and on top of all this, y'all want me to stay emotionally and mentally sane to do all of these things? We ain't even talked about going to work. We ain't even put that's all of the job right there. I ain't even did nothing to earn no money. That's just doing stuff. I am tired. God, next lifetime, I really feel like I need to be a tree. I need to chill out for a couple 100 years. I can't keep doing the human experience. Tree me, God. Tree me, please. And then after that, when I come back, make me the uncle. Because I can't keep doing the woman stuff and the mom stuff.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Tracks? Yes. I play it constantly. Make sure you stand beside him while he watches, because I've tried that, and I just noticed to kind of start to walk away. I'm like, oh, no, get back here. You're going to watch the whole thing. So, I'm so glad that it tracked and it made us laugh. I think humor is an really important teaching tool, but it's also, there's something real behind that, right? So I want to talk a little bit about that. And listen, I'm married to a man. I have a son. I love all the humans, okay? Man, woman, whatever it is. My mission here is not to denigrate men in any way. They're a critical part of what we do. We work together, right? We work together. But this is a reality. I have a young family and a husband who is really supportive and does a lot of stuff in the house. Who does the majority? Who does the extra? It's always me. 10:30, washing bottles, putting the laundry away. I'm not throwing shade at him. He does a lot. He's like, tell me what to do. I'm like, why don't you just do it on your own, right? There's am I managing you? Or there's that part of it. But that's also something we have to learn together. So I do have to put some extra effort into it, but this is a reality. There are additional things in our path. So statistically, women in general, these are general statistics, they are current. How much extra time in general do we spend on household care and child care a day in comparison? So everybody does their share, and then what's the extra? 2.7 hours. She knows because she does it, right? What does that add up to in a year? Do the math. Give me a guess. 1,000 hours. A full-time job, that's 20 hours a week. That's an extra half of a job, right? And so I think talking about numbers is important because we need some solutions. This is the current reality. Women have twice as much stress and anxiety, general numbers. Every story is different, right? We do 3 times the amount of unpaid domestic housework. These are women that are earning the same as their partner, sometimes more, sometimes less, right? That has changed. And we do 60% more emotional labor at work. General statistics, but this is a reality. So, again, but for the first time here are a couple of strategies to think about. And I want to especially speak to the women in the room and for the men in the room to think about, how is this different for you? How do you support the women in your life, whether they're your mothers, your aunties, your sisters, your daughters, your coworkers? And then what are your own needs that we're not talking about? If that's the case and we don't understand, we need to hear that too. There's space for all of it in the conversation. But I want you to leave today 3 things, man or woman. I want you to set your priorities. What is in this top corner that you're going to go back and put some time on the calendar to protect? Whether it's going to the spa, whether it's looking at your hiring processes, whether it's thinking about the future and that Salesforce transformation that you need to make. Second thing, and this is harder for women in general, it is harder for women to maintain your boundaries. It's hard to say no. It's hard to say, that's not for me. I have 5 minutes left. And then this last part is my favorite, pass the vertical. Does anyone have any idea what that means? No? So, someone want to give it a guess? It's part of it, but it's so much better. So I saw a table full of young working mothers at our holiday party in December. I made a beeline to the table and just sat down and we were sharing. No one knows like someone who's walking your own shoes. It doesn't matter what it is, right? Man, woman, child, someone who has walked your own path knows it. I have friends who have, children who have childhood cancer. Their best community, other parents who have kids with childhood cancer. For me, it's women, working women with young children. They are my audience. I don't have to tell them. They're like, oh, we know. So I sit down at the table, share a little bit of what's going on, and this one woman, brilliant woman, Carolyn, she says, Avina, you need to learn to pass the vertical. And I said, what do you mean? She said, don't just say, can you help me out with the dishes? Give the entire dishwasher duty to your husband if he agrees, and then stay out of it. Do not micromanage how he loads the dishwasher, unloads. Can I get a thank you? Right? Listen, if they're not melting the dishes, if there's no toxic fumes, we stay out of there. Pass the vertical. It's not, and this is a tough one, I still have not been able to do it, it's not bring the speakers to the birthday party, it is plan the birthday party, run the birthday party, execute the birthday party. If there are no balloons, if there's no cake, if Mickey Mouse doesn't show up, if there's a bag of stale chips and 2 chairs and some music on a stereo and your kid has an amazing time, maybe it's a new way to run a birthday party, right? So we got to get out of the way. Pass the vertical. Pass the vertical. Give me an example. What's a vertical you're going to pass today, tonight, to whoever's in your household? Exit interviews. You're going to pass the vertical on exit interviews. What else? Friday dinners. Friday dinners. Pass the vertical. It's not just husbands and wives. It's also children. I have some colleagues whose children make dinner. They're 12. Okay? There are new horizons for your children after today. New horizons. So, here's a quote from someone who's sort of a little famous, Brene Brown. Someone want to read it? We hate disappointing others. We don't want anyone to not like us. I'm okay if some of the baseball moms don't like me. I'm not really, but I'm okay. A little bit okay. I'm trying to get there. So think about who you don't want to disappoint and what are some of the boundaries and how you can work on some of that. So start right now. 3 things. I want you to write this down before you run out of the room, like squirrels onto the next thing. So 1 priority, you're going to put it on your calendar. What is a boundary that you know needs to be established and maintained? It could be with anyone in your life, work or personally, because they are like this. What's the vertical that you're going to pass?